you. Happy hump day to you. Happy hump day, my fellow sisters and brothers. Happy hump day to you. May it be well. Hey, my friends. Mama Rita coming at you live today on a Wednesday, aka the hump day. Whoop, whoop. How are you doing? What is going on in your life? Are you living your dreams? Are you exactly where you want to be? Do you have a lot of ideas? And you're just like, oh my gosh, yes, I have so much in me that I want to create and put out there. But you find yourself still not producing the results that you're looking for. Or you're stuck, or you're waiting, or self-sabotaging. Don't use that S word around here. Yes, I just want to say I was in that boat, and it's still a constant battle. Like, even now that I'm saying this, I am reminded that I have yet not completed a declaration that I made because I was not in inspired, committed action. And it's one of the themes that have kind of been going around in the circuits of awareness that, you know, of my feed, right? That's what happens because they're listening and they know what it is that you like, so they feed you more of the same. So if you're getting this, it's not by coincidence, because it's also because you are hoping and waiting, or people pleasing, or afraid of criticism and judgment, or imposter syndrome, fear, overwhelm, no time. There's all these stories, all these ways that I was talking myself away and stopping from being in my dreams and living into my dreams. And it's usually right past the resistance. You know what the resistance is? Pretty much like you coming across that next level. And it's our body's innate reaction to keep us safe to what we know. No, no, no. We don't know what's over there. We know what's over here, and we're okay dealing comfortably with this heavy coat we've been wearing. So what happens is we just go nope. And then we make excuses, we tell story, we blame, we shame, all the stuff that we say to ourselves that we end up cutting our own wings. I was cutting my own wings for many times. My trainer, actually, Michael Strasner, who I was blessed to be his farewell today, retiring from the work, and he was my trainer. And it was one of the things that he said to me in a live coaching was, he's like, you got to stop cutting your own wings. And I was like, that really hit and resonated with me. And I was like, holy shit, I'm cutting my own wings, and I'm sitting out here blaming other people for not seeing me for my greatness and not letting me soar and fly. Like, do you resonate with that? Like, do you ever feel like you're like blaming or shaming other people or yourself? Because I was doing that for a long time, and I learned through the personal development and leadership training that feedback gets to be neutral, and the people that love you can be a loving interruption. And that's what my coaches were, and my mentors, and also my colleagues and my cohorts. And it was amazing and hard. But if you lean in and you trust the process and you're willing to do whatever it takes, because as Tony Robbins says, change happens when the pain of change is, the pain of staying the same is stronger than the pain of change. And when you're really ready to just take a leap of faith, and be a yes to you, and do the inner work, and find the shadows. The shadow is your friend. It's not something to be afraid of. It's the yin and the yang. It's there to serve you. And that's what it was for me. And now I recognize it and I'm friendly with it and I have compassion and I accept it. And it allows me to be neutral in moments that I get triggered and I remind myself it's not about me. I'm making it about me, and a lot of times it's not about me, it's that person getting triggered because they have something they haven't worked about themselves. Like, does that resonate with you? Like other people? It looked like a card. Cardi B. What are you guys struggling out there in the world? What's stopping you? What's getting in the way? What's the story that you keep telling? I get a shout out. I'm a singer. Yes, I am a singer. I'm a singer. I get a shout out. What's your name? Fave Cassie? Your fave Cassie. Your fave Cassie gets a shout out. And so does Lily. Because little Timmy's coming right behind with the Fortnite. My son loves Fortnite, by the way. He's probably watching. No, he's asleep now, but he's always loving watching the YouTube channels of people doing the live gaming tricks and it's one of the ways that I relate with him. I don't understand why these kids are so addicted to watching these shows, but I sit there and I talk to him and I get to understand him, because that is one way as a mother, even though I don't agree or believe it's something he should spend his time with in doing, because he's so smart and talented in many ways and very athletic, like a natural athlete. But I get to let him know he belongs. He doesn't have to fit in and change who he is for me. And I get to be neutral and not judge and be critical of him and put my own beliefs on him and accept him and love him and be a guide, right? Like a gentle interruption of saying, hey, let's do this. Like today we went and bowling. And then after bowling, we did the arcades together. We had so much fun, he and I. Just amazing connected time today, and it was very special. So anybody out there with children or people that you want to connect with, it just takes a choice. It takes a choice of showing up and really stepping outside of yourself for a minute and seeing that person that you're looking at and the person is next to you, or the person that you're driving by, or that is 10 yards from you or on the other side of the world, is connected to you. We are one. We're a one consciousness, learning to love again and remind and remember our power and who we are as light beings. And our words matter. So if you're telling yourself words like, I need to do this, I need to do that, it comes from, for me, a space of scarcity. And I remind myself that I get to do these things, that I'm blessed to do these things. Because life doesn't happen to me, and it doesn't happen to you. And so today, on a hump day, when you need an extra oomph for moving forward, be neutral, take a breath and say, it's not about me. They are also just in their pain, wanting to be seen and heard, just like me. I get to have compassion because I would want compassion. And I want to be seen and heard and understood for my truth, because that's how you build connection and relationships. And in that moment, I get to choose the relationship over having to be right. And sometimes that looks like walking away. Like right now, I'm walked away. I was hoping to be a loving interruption. And I remind myself that it's not my job to pull people with me in the space that I am. I get to just live my truth. And if that empowers and inspires others to do the same and want to know how I've done it, then beautiful. Yes, I want to share it with you. It's been a beautiful journey and a fast journey, and it's a quick, simple, easy thing. It's not easy, but it's simple. And it starts with you choosing you. So anybody out there who is struggling, anybody out there who is looking for a lifeline, I know what it felt like to feel lost and alone, not supported. It was easier for me to just stay home than to go out, because I felt like I wasn't worthy enough, I wasn't good enough, I was gonna hurt someone's feelings, I was gonna let somebody down, I was gonna inadvertently say something that was gonna trigger someone. It's better if I just stay home. And that was a belief. And I started looking for evidence of that. And the more evidence I found of that, the more I started experiencing and becoming that. And so when my coaches and my mentors were loving interruption and gave me some beautiful feedback, it took a while and it was hard, but when I was honest with myself, without beating myself up, having grace, that was the key, the first key. If I was going to give you one key today, the first key is give yourself grace, my friends. Have compassion with you. Love yourself enough to not be defined by your past or your trauma or your story or your happenstance. It's hard. I know it's hard. I understand it's hard. And you can, there's ways to choose. At some point, how much longer are you going to have that weigh you down and you keep cutting your own wings because you want to be right about your story? You want to be right about how you were wronged. You want to be right about how everything happens to you. You don't understand, but you don't understand. That was me. I only know because that was me. That was me. If this resonates with you, like, what is the thing, what is the story that you want to keep holding on and being right about? Is it worth it? Like, think about the consequences, the things and the experiences that you didn't lean into and choose because you were afraid or worried or didn't think you were good enough. And you played small and you hid your light because you were afraid of being judged or criticized and not accepted. I was afraid of all those things, and then when it was brought to my attention that it's as within, so without, and as above, so below. So if I was seeing it and experiencing it, it's because there's some place within me that I was not accepting myself. There was a place that I wasn't loving myself. I wasn't respecting myself. I was not being honest with myself. All these things that outwardly I was experiencing are all the things that were being reflections of the places I have not healed within myself. And the things that hold me from being in my light, that I keep self-sabotaging to hold me small and safe. And so there was a time when I lived 8 days in bliss, going through this transformation and personal development and having Michael Strassner as my trainer and Melissa Shields as my mentor and many other mentors and coaches and colleagues that were definitely instrumental in where I am today. I was able to publish 2 children's books, and I'm sitting here repairing relationships, speaking my authenticity or my truth lovingly, shifting when I get triggered, figuring out that if I need to walk away, but saying, hey, you know, let's talk about it. I'm coming back. Or maybe sometimes I don't say that as much. I just walk away, and I get to work on that, right? I just walked away. If I'm being honest, I just kind of walked away now. And that's been my thing. My biggest self-sabotager is the avoiding sabotager. I avoid the strong, hard conversations. I even avoid completing things. I avoid the hard things. I avoid the things that are outside of my comfort zone, right? Like, does that resonate with you? Do you do that? Am I alone here, my friends? Lord, help me. I'm about to bust. Oh, jeez. You guys are insane. Like, people going live. I guess I just need to ignore the comments, but I want to talk to the peeps out there. And not wanting to get distracted by the comments, but at the same time, being real and saying, you know, I was at a place that was very dark. I didn't know who I was. I lost my identity. I felt like a shell of myself. Praying and asking for a reason, a purpose to continue, and why, you know, to make the pain go away, how to make the pain go away. And I heard like a voice say, it's not about me. I was like, it's not about me. What do you mean? Of course it's about me. I was like, no, but it's not about you. Of course it's about you, but it's not about you. It's about what you're going through is your purpose. Because that pain, if you share your story, this is what I got. If I shared my story, and if I came out here with a genuine, loving heart and saying, listen, guys, there's a way and there's a choice, and there's so much now out there that it's data, research, scientific data points, like research it, do it, and figure it out. It's not woo-woo anymore. Mindset, words, visualization, breath work, meditation, essential oils, energy medicine, EFT, oh my gosh, NLP, like all these things, Psych K, there's so many. Ayurveda, herbology, and just so many holistic like modalities out there that you can research and look into, where you're able to take back the power. But it starts with a mindset and you choosing you. And you get to choose if you're going to really believe. And if you're not going to believe, then it's about finding out what's in the way of that. Why are you not believing that you're worthy of health, worthy of love, worthy of success, prosperity, and abundance? Because I realized that what's getting in the way was that I didn't find myself worthy. I was looking for my value in other people's validation of what I said, what I did, what I presented, what I made. And if it wasn't what I expected, I would feel let down. And there was, I can't remember who it was or where it was that I heard this. And it could have been in one of my training rooms. That it said, an expectation is a future resentment. And I was like, that hit me hard. I was like, what? That I see that resonated. Like, does that make sense to you? Like, if you have an expectation, it's you having a disposition, like you're holding on to some kind of result. If that result doesn't happen the way you wanted it to happen, then you're going to hold that person accountable, and unbeknownst to them. It's like, does that sound fair? Like, put the shoe on the other foot. There was somebody doing that with you. You would feel like, holy shit, that's not fair. And you would fight to be right, right? And we do that so often. Like, I find myself doing to people and to myself and to my husband, and, you know, like, things that I feel people judge and say about me, or do to me, or treat unfairly about me, or prejudge, you know. And I feel like I hear so much judgment and criticism out in the world. It almost feels like we got addicted to it. We think it's funny, but words matter, and words literally affect matter. They hold a frequency and a vibration. And if you know anything about water, water is super intelligent, and it's very, it holds memory, and it can change with thought and words and vibration. Its properties and crystallization and whatever. There are people out here who might know what I'm talking about. And if you know that we're about 70+% water, when we're thinking negative thoughts and we're saying negative thoughts, or we're shaming and guilting ourselves, or saying we should have done this, we should have done that, like, you're shitting on yourself. I love that term. Stop shitting on yourself. So that's the second key I could give you now. Like, have grace and stop shitting on yourself. Be neutral. I think I said that too. That's another really good one. Those are 3 keys already on this call in 20 minutes. 3 keys on living peaceful, joyful, happy life of abundance, gratitude, peace. Did I say that? Bliss. Like, when I lived those 8 days in bliss, guys, I had gotten a hug from this little boy at school at an event that I was volunteering after reading a book. And I read a book and I read it in bilingually, right? So I threw in some Spanish words, and it was about Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos. And my father just passed away in January. And so here we are now in October, and I was in my Mastering Leadership program at that moment with Michael Strasner as my trainer. And in that moment, I'm sitting there and I get this hug, and I was already getting coaching and being on a bunch of things that were going to help me step outside of my comfort zone. And so I was hyper aware and being intentional about looking at the signs, looking at the patterns, seeing where I'm stopping myself, seeing where I'm being triggered and why. And so it was interesting when this little boy hugged me, and my husband and my daughter were right there, and we all were struck in awe, right? If you heard me or you follow me and you see any of my old videos, there was a vortex here called Heaven Rushing In. And a lot of the times when you're in awe, when you see a beautiful scenic view or a sunset or a child or anything that kind of takes your breath away and just steals your sight, and you just pause and you like take it in, and you're just filled with wonder, that is igniting your radiant circuit. And that's where joy and happiness, your innate joy lives, and there's a vortex right here. And so we all kind of went, and in that moment I felt like my heart expanded and my whole aura expanded and took over the whole entire school, and I was just lifted. And then I went to the store, and I had a little sugar skull mask on, and I went to the store, and I was getting some things for the kids or something that we needed for the house. And there was a guy who I could sense was grumpy walking past him, right? Because I do energy work, so I can sense energy. I'm an empath as well. And I was just like, oh, that guy does not feel like he's having a good day. And my mask was on. And I chose to leave it on. I could have taken it off, right? At this point, it was like dark because it's October. And it was, I don't know, 8 p.m. And I'm going to the back of my car to get grocery bags, and this guy is coming back from returning his cart at the return cart. And he's like, you know what? I was in a really grumpy mood. But after seeing you, I smiled, and it really changed the way I felt, and I'm in a good mood now thanks to you. And he smiled at me, and he had a really beautiful smile, and his whole face lit up when he smiled, and I was like, that's such a beautiful smile. You should smile more often. Like, don't steal that. Like, don't be stingy with that smile. Like, thank you for that smile. And so that I went into the store and I was shopping, and I think I was doing a live in that moment, and I was seeing people just kind of looking at me and smiling and just lifting and being like, oh my God, that's so cute, and you look so cute, and other people smiling. And for some reason, right after that, I just felt so much compassion for humanity. I felt so connected, and I had a deeper knowing, like, of oneness. Like, I knew of oneness, but it was still something else that wasn't really super connected at this level. It's weird and it's hard to explain, guys, but it was like a completely sober feeling of knowing that you guys are all me and I am you, and we're connected, and your experience, my experience, is our consciousness, because there's one consciousness, and we're learning from one another and here to remind each other what's important, and that's to spread love, to be kind, and to remind each other that, fuck, I'm scared too, and I don't know how I'm doing this. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm fucking it up, and I'm doing it scared, but I'm saying, oh, what the fuck, go for it anyway, and showing up. And I haven't been showing up, but I'm gonna start showing up, and I'm putting together a weekly, daily thing where Saturday is gonna be, it's Sunday fun day, and then Monday is gonna be, what did I say it was, Mindful Monday. Tuesday's gonna be, I forgot what it was, Wellness Wednesday, and Thoughtful Thursday, and Freedom Friday, and then party day Saturday. And it's going to be like fun, creative ways of stepping and being present and accepting the shit that's happening, and this choosing, learning how to just be like, fuck, I get to choose a better serving story, because this really serving me moving forward in how I want to live my life and how I want my life to be. Because I didn't know how quick I was to get stuck in my victim story. But you don't understand. I would keep going with my coach. I would be like, but you don't understand. You don't understand. They say this to me. They say this is how they say, and this is how I feel when they say that. And I've always had this, and this is what's happened to me, and you don't understand. Like, really? Come on, man. How old are you now? How long has this been your story? Do you really want to be stuck in that story as your identity when you can literally reinvent yourself? It's a choice. And I was like, fuck yeah, it's a choice. I get to choose. And then I would mess it up. But then I was like, okay, don't be judgmental. Don't be hard on yourself. We get to learn from what's not working. Shit, and be honest. Be honest with myself about the shit. And do the hard stuff. And I'm still not getting it right. And I'm still flubbing. And I'm still, skipping and falling. One day at a time. But I am being responsible more and more on owning my shit. And saying, I get to choose. I get to choose to give myself love and compassion, and also to give it and be kind and be compassionate. Because if I want love and I want compassion and I want connection, I get to be those things, not just for myself, but to everybody and to you. And it's time that we come together. We come together as people are saying, shit, I'm scared too, and I don't know what I'm doing, but fuck, it's time that we stop trying to compete and step on each other. Let's start to rise each other, because together and linked together, like, imagine if we all just followed each other, or we all just posted for one another, if we all just sat and did an interview for each other's Facebook page or whatever, and we just did it to be in giving generosity, because We want our message and our vision is bigger than us, bigger than our ego. I realized how much of that was my ego, of me like, no, I needed to be right about being a victim. I needed to be right that I haven't done anything for my life for this long because look, you don't understand. I'm alone. I've been abandoned. No tengo familia. And then I would be like to myself, really? Really? Come on, Margarita. And I was able to not just forgive, but accept. Accept myself for all the things that I had no control over. Accept those events. Accept those mishaps and those unfortunate things and expectations that weren't met. Forgiving and accepting. Forgiving for me, like not forgiving them for what they did, but forgiving them because forgiving them says that I let go of the power they had over me. Because forgiving them means that I get now to breathe without having such emotional control about the situation, meaning I was giving my power away to them and they were winning. And it was like they were hurting me all over again. It was like I living that situation all over again. And so forgiving was my first step of healing, because I was able to then give myself grace and compassion. And I accepted, because the only way to move forward with love and kindness and self-care and growth was to accept and to let go and to be neutral and to see everything as that's a challenge, as just what's not working, and there's a message there, and just move on. Like, don't take it so seriously. I think we take life and ourselves so seriously. And if you could tap into your inner child, that child that you locked away a long time ago because they got hurt, they weren't seen, they weren't heard, they were ignored, they weren't loved for who they were, criticized, abused, whatever, neglected, all those things. I was there for me in my life. I think we all have a story in some way. And my story is there, but my story is now feels like a book that's been written, and it's on a shelf, and I kind of remember it. And if I were to open the book and read it, I wouldn't have the emotional attachment and connection to it anymore. It would be like, huh, wow, look at what happened. That's the story. And then I was able to be neutral about it, which was so beautiful, because that really was where the healing was. Because I was able now to remove those blocks, those beliefs of me not being worthy, of me being a burden, of me being not enough, of me being not good enough, me being too loud, me being too willful, me being too smart, me being too talented, me being too cute, me being like too bright. So I started dimming my light and playing small, because it just was not comfortable for people. And I know you guys are out there too doing the same thing. So stop it. Because you matter. Your light matters. Your story matters. You're unique. And you're perfect, and you're enough right now. And you're always going to be 5 to 20 steps ahead of somebody. And they're waiting for you to tell your story so that they can come to you and say, what did you do? I need what you did. I want what you have. They're not going to know until you come out and stop being your self-sabotager and stop being your own wing clipper. So choose you, choose love, be kind to yourself. Choose a coach. Choose personal development. There are books if you guys are interested in knowing what kind of books. I'd be happy if you comment say me and I would send you some resources. But like I said, subscribe guys. Subscribe so you know when these new downloads and lives are going to be happening. And they're going to be about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And if there are people who are serious out there, maybe I can invite you to be on the live and we can get on a chat and what's getting in the way and what is one thing that you would want to solve, that you would want clarity on, or that you would want to let go because it's stopping you from your life, of your dreams, from being authentic and loving and prosperous and abundant. And if I can solve it for you, and then we can talk about it, like, would that be worth it for you? Would that have value for you? You never know, right? Until you try and you're a yes and you're serious. But the only person and the only thing that you can change and you have control over is you. Your thoughts and your actions and your words. So, you're going to choose you. You're going to be responsible for your life and how it's showing and how you're showing up. So that's the question. Until next time, my friends, I want to say, keep it real. Be honest, but have yourself lead with love. Lead with love. Be kind to yourself. Do affirmations. Do breath work, meditation, whatever it is to help calm you and to go inward to uncover the truth of what it is that is the self-sabotaging. For me, it was a huge I avoid, and control is the second one. I needed to control the situation. I needed to, because I never felt safe. I never felt safe. And so therefore also my root chakra, you know anything about chakras, definitely a lot of root chakra. And there's definitely a lot of the solar plexus and the sacral chakra for me. My identity, my creative side, because I was depressed and yeah, my personal power, I kept giving it away. And so it was interesting that I ended up having an inflamed pancreas. I experienced pancreatitis. And I think somebody told me once that in Chinese medicine, that is the sweetness of life that organ is connected to. And I was like, interesting, because in that moment, it was when I was in the darkest space where I literally felt like gravity was 3 times heavy on me. I felt so heavy and lethargic that I couldn't get up. I was on the ground. There was a time I remember so vividly still when I was on the beach. And I was on the ground on the beach on the blanket, and I saw my husband with my son throwing frisbee, and I love throwing the frisbee. Like, it was so cool that my husband and I were a great frisbee team. Before we got married, I was like, yeah, this guy could throw frisbee. Like, I married this guy just for this. And I'm just kidding. And then my son, like I said, he's very naturally athletic. He throws it really well as well. And so I was just watching them, and I was like, I really want to get up and play. And it just felt like such an effort. It felt like, oh my God, it's just too much work to get up to do that. Like, I'm fine just sitting here. I'm just going to watch. I'll play next time. And this kept going on and on and on. Like, it was at the park, and it was like, no, I'll just stay home. And then my family would go off without me. So many moments and situations and events and celebrations that I missed out on because I physically didn't feel like I had the energy. I also mentally didn't feel like I had the capacity. And emotionally, I felt overwhelmed because I didn't think that I was safe. I was worried I was going to ruin the moments somehow. And it prevented me from really being myself. And after a while, that really weighed on me because I forgot who I was. And then I kept saying, I feel stuck, I feel stuck, I feel stuck. And that became my identity. You don't understand, I haven't worked for so long, no one's going to want to hire me, blah, 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 and all these stories and all this stuff. And I keep saying all these things I'm going to do, and I still keep not doing the things that are going to help bring money in on my end with my family. And it's brought a lot of stress on my marriage, and it's brought a lot of stress on my marriage. And that marriage at a stress level has brought a lot of stress in the connection, in the loving connection that we have with our children, that I've been able to be with my children. And the relationship that I was having with myself was even bad. I started abusing alcohol and numbing myself all the time because I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel worthy. I was like, fuck. And then during the leadership program, I started talking about how I felt, and then other people were sharing about how they felt. I was like, damn, you were talking about my story? Did you have a camera on? Like, you really were completely sharing an experience that I had. And I noticed that even men, there were times that they share stories that I can relate, and I was like, oh my God. Or I can hear it as something my husband or somebody I know is going through. And it's been so beautiful to see the community when you can say, shit, I see so much of me in you, and because you've been vulnerable and they've been vulnerable, you create a connection because you see that they're just like you and they're relatable, and we're all the same. Like I said earlier, we're all the same. We're insecure about what people are going to say about us, right? We're in our fears, wanting to be seen and heard, and we want to belong. We want to belong. And that's just like me. And if that's just like you, like, then we got to start to bring people together. But it starts with you. The healing starts first here. Come from a full cup. Because when you're from a full cup, then you start to spill over, and the universe just keeps giving you more because you have to give it away. You have to give it away. There's no other. And the universe goes, yes, here's more, give it away, here's more. So fill your cup with love, worthiness, value. Find your value. Find the things that you love and start doing them. I've been literally every day saying things like, I am love. I am enough. I matter. I am brilliant. I am funny. I'm connected. I am free. I'm open. Like, I say these things almost daily, like random stuff. I also started a gratitude journal. And I'm starting to see like weird things happening where like I'm getting free stuff, or there's like a glitch in something, so I get extra stuff. And like today, for instance, at the bowling place with my son, I said, hey babe, you want to take a picture with me at the photo booth? He's like, yeah, sure, why not? And this particular day they have like half-priced games, and even then the photo booth said 250, right? Like 2.5 coins, which means however much. It's almost like $1 each. So 250 is how I see it in my mind. And it said to swipe your card twice just for one photo. And I was like, that's like $5. I don't know if it's worth it. And my son's like, yes, but my son said at first, yeah, I don't know. Like I looked at him and I didn't want him to use this stuff for a photo. And then all of a sudden we just hit the screen, And then we saw a frame come up, and my son started choosing a frame. And then in the moment that he started choosing a frame, I was like, oh, let me take my phone out and take a picture of us on the screen in a frame, so it looks like we took a picture, right? Picture within a picture kind of thing. And then we like set up and we framed ourselves and we like posed, and all of a sudden we started seeing a countdown, and it started to count down for the picture. I was like, oh, it's taking a picture. Or maybe it's just going to take a picture and trick us later and say, put in the money, right? And at first it did say that. At first it said literally, it took our picture and then it said, swipe the card twice for pictures. And we're like, see, it got us, it got us. And so I was taking a picture again of the screen of us in the photo that it took. And then we noticed that it started saying printing. And we're like, what the hell? It's printing that photo. That's cool. That's crazy. It's not really printing it. It's not printing. It's sure enough, my son comes out and he like immediately that photo comes out. We're like, what? And so then we hit it again and we notice it's saying, take another photo. We're like, oh, we have another photo. Oh my gosh. So that this time we took and we chose the 4 screen, like four poses, because the first one we did 1 pose. And we did it. And we took it and it printed it. And we're like, let's try again. And it didn't do it the 3rd time. But this is crazy. We got like 2 free photographs. And then like my son and us getting jackpots a bunch of times on things. And then like there were glitches in some of the machines that weren't counting our tickets correctly when we were winning. And so when we got assistance, the guy gave us an extra like 100 or 200 tickets for our trouble and stuff. And it was just like, okay, well, that's crazy. And so just things like little things like that I'm starting to notice once I started this gratitude journal, you know, and being that abundance and prosperity comes to me in all forms, in all ways, and in all the avenues. And I'm open to them and grateful for them and thankful for it going for a good cause and for the greatest of all good for all involved, right? For all of humanity. And that's what I've been saying. That's what I've been doing because that is my intention. It's not about me and being greedy. It's about like me because I want to give back. Me because, yes, in order for me to have the things and take care of my family and take care of my community and the people and bring this light to you, to ignite you and your light again so that you can reignite your spark, your authentic, true spark, to live that life of your dreams so that you can finally breathe and go, hallelujah, hallelujah, right? And be, I'm so blessed, I'm so blessed, I said yes, I said yes to me, I'm so blessed to be free. So let's be free together, my friends. Stay humble. Stay humble. Give yourself grace. Be neutral. And choose the better serving story for you. You get a choice to reinvent yourself in every single moment that you have, in every single day that you have a blessing in this life. Every single day is a blessing in this life. Don't give it up, baby. Think twice. Never want to say goodbye, my friend, because that's gonna be a lie. Because your truth lies within, and only you know it. So stop being selfish. Shine your light. Because you matter and you know it, goddammit. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I strike it and take it back. That's very offensive. I apologize. That will never come out of me again. And I also get to not hold shame or blame on myself for that. And let go and say that was a mistake. That wasn't. I allow myself to react, right? and stay in my truth. So, here we go. This is what it looks like, my friends. This is what it looks like, live in action. Live in action. All right, well, my lights went out. I guess that means that the show's over. They're kicking me off the stage, friends. I guess I've been talking for longer than I said that I would. Keep those energies flowing. Keep those energies flowing. And I'll see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell so that you know when I go live. And you could chime in. And if you have something respectful and worthy and meaningful to share, then let's get real, baby. Let's see what can move in your life. Till next time, see you. Bye. Mwah.